What's happening, everyone? Art at Patience Metal Fab, and I'm in our lobby right now just staring into the shop and thinking about some of the really cool builds we've gotten in this week. Now, we just pulled in a 1960s Ferrari 275 GTS. We've got a 1985 Renault Group B rally car shell that got dropped off that we're going to be building up, and I'll be doing some media on and showing you guys on YouTube, so that's going to be really exciting. And we also got that orange C8 Corvette that you may recognize from a few videos ago back in the shop. Now, I'll put the first video in the description so you can get caught up if you haven't seen it, but the breakdown is that we did AP racing and SX brakes all the way around. We threw slicks and lighter wheels onto the car and did a Veris carbon fiber track spoiler. Now, since then, the customer's been able to take that car to the track and has given us really great feedback on the mods we've done. And as per plan, it's back at our shop to do a custom roll bar. Now, the thing that he didn't plan out and decision he made after that track day was to throw in a couple race seats. And these are going to be the ones that we're putting in, the Racetech 119s, which are the top of the line race seat from the top of the line manufacturer. And I'll get into the details on the seat and all the features later on, but for now, I'm going to pop out, show you those two cars that I mentioned, and then we'll see what kind of progress they've made with the Corvette. I know they're putting some protective wrap on it, and they're going to be taking the seats out because we're going to measure the inside to make sure that those fit, probably make some custom low pro seat mounts, and then also measure for that roll bar. So let's see what kind of progress they've made out there. These guys are surging ahead a little bit faster than I expected, and it actually have been mocking up one of the Racetech seats. So what's going on with this bracket and these mounts? Are these universal or what?
Yeah, this is just a test bracket right now. Gives us a platform to pick up the bolt provisions, and then these are just some test pieces that we have. Allows us to kind of create a platform and get the seats sitting in here the way we want. Especially in a car we're putting full containment seat in, and there's not a whole lot of space for this. So I mean, this is a tight package. It's going to be good when you're in, but
yeah. Plus, I talked about that roll bar that still has to go around, yep. And you have to get in and out of the car. So what do you think we're going to have to do that's different than this universal set that we've got in here?
Right now, this is sitting up on top of a couple cross rails. So we got to have some step feet or some spacers, and then that may change the shape of the platform, which then in turn will change the shape of the side brackets.
So the name of the game here is trial and error. We're going to get this stuff out, then make some revisions and changes digitally, use that plasma table to cut out version 2, and kind of rinse and repeat until we have the perfect setup in here.
Absolutely.
While those guys are messing around over there, I'm gonna go weigh the OEM seat. I had a chance to help them take it out yesterday, and it is incredibly heavy. It's got airbags after all. I think it probably has seat heaters, but you can hardly lift it up by yourself. Let's go see how much that weighs, and then once they pull the Racetech, we'll compare. You might be looking at this 27.5 saying, well, that's not that heavy of a seat, but this scale is actually in kilograms, so that amounts to about 61 pounds or so. It's an extremely heavy seat. You factor in the passenger side too, and if you pull both of these, I mean, you're losing 120 pounds right there. Obviously, you're gaining a little bit back in the Racetech setup, but we are gonna shed a significant amount of weight by switching to those. I can already tell you that carrying the Racetech seat over was a lot easier than the OEM one. Some of these 119 series, the carbon Kevlar version, just the shell is less than 10 pounds, so you can tell how light they are. Now this one has everything equipped onto it, and it's got steel side brackets and this prototype mount, so it is going to be a little bit heavier than just the seat alone, but a good comparison to the OEM one. The Race Tech setup came in at just about 17 kilograms, which is 37 pounds, give or take. And that means that this setup is about 30 pounds lighter than the OE. Now, double that for the passenger side, and we've got a pretty healthy amount of weight on. Between that and the lightweight wheel package and the brakes themselves, we've taken off enough weight to offset a lot of that roll bar that we're going to be putting in, obviously getting all the rigidity and safety benefits along with it. So this is what it takes to make a real competitive track car. You add a little weight, you take some off, and really you improve everything along the way. Here's something you don't see every day, a C8 Corvette with the bumpers removed that hasn't been in an accident. And unfortunately, I've been hearing a lot of these have been because maybe it's a little too much car for some people. The reason that Andrew took the rear bumper off and also the front is because we're gonna be adding 2 additional tow hooks. Now there's one standard in the rear and in the front, but the owner would like 2 more. That way it's easier to wench it up on a trailer, more accessibility, more of a race car thing. So what we're doing is adding a provision right there to match one like this. There's been an absolute whirlwind of activity on this car over the past few days. As you saw, Andrew was coming up with a secondary tow hook mount provision. Here's what it looks like, basically mirroring what we already had from the factory. And what that's gonna allow us to do is be able to trailer this car up, really make it easier for the customer after a track event, or if he ends up in a ditch or something, hopefully not, it'll be easier to yank the car out. Now the rear's all done. The front, I would say, is about 80% complete. You can see that we've made a custom provision for a secondary tow hook up here. So really now all that's left to do is drilling into that front bumper and making sure all fits. But before we do that, it sounds like we got another new part in that I didn't know about, which is this Veris carbon fiber front track splitter. And as you recall, we have the rear spoiler also from Veris to match. So this is gonna be a really cool piece. I'll get some footage of Andrew putting all of this on the bumper. Luckily, I was able to get into work early enough to watch these guys make the final push on the Corvette. Andrew right now is buttoning up the seats. He's got the race techs on those mounts, and he's putting the harnesses through right now. So those are going to be in the car shortly. And then Gary just finished up the final welds on that prototype roll bar. It's looking really good. I assume the fit and finish is really good as well. We're going to be putting that in that car, and I'll show you guys footage of it. And we've got the front splitter all done. You can see it looks awesome, and it's really going to help with the aerodynamics of the car, so a form and function part. The reason that we're kind of scrambling is because the customer's about to pick this car up in an hour or so. He's got a track day this weekend to kind of shake down all the modifications we've done, and then he's going to bring this car back, and we're going to make final adjustments on the seating, on the roll bar, and really make this thing perfect. Then after that, we've got some ideas of taking it even to the next level. We've done so much to make it into a track weapon already, but the customer's kind of itching to do some custom stuff, which is what we're known for after all. That means that there's going to be more episodes of this car and some really exciting footage. If you enjoyed what we're doing already, we're going to ramp it up in the next couple of episodes. So you got to tune in for those. Subscribe to our page if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.